It took me 9 years to get me my first $100. It took me 8 years to get my first 100 subscribers. It took me 7 different channels to get these results. I've always secretly wanted to be a YouTuber, but I failed every single time until something clicked. I started a new channel, and after 23 days, I got my first 100 subscribers. After 41 days, I made my first $100. After 53 days, Mr. Beast saw my video. This is the full story of how I blew up a channel in less than 2 months. First channel I saw some success in was back in 2019. I didn't want to show my face. I was good at building things, so I made a DIY channel. After months and months of uploads, I finally reached 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, and was able to get monetized in 2020. And on February 11th, I made my first 57 cents. Slowly over the next few years, it kept growing and growing. But I was only making enough to buy a few Chipotle burritos by the end of each month. I tried new things on that channel, from drawing to cooking, but it just wasn't working. I finally came across YouTube automation, and I was sold the dream. All I had to do was hire a team, have them do the work, and watch the money roll in. Now, I knew it wasn't going to be that easy, and I knew I had to be involved, but what I didn't know is how involved I had to be, and how much money I had to invest. After 6 months, I posted 103 videos and 109 shorts on my monetized channel. I posted 46 videos and 51 shorts on another channel, and then another 102 videos on that same channel. I spent over $6,000 on freelancers, and AdSense made me $600, which puts me at a negative 90% ROI. Even though I messed up that badly, I can still count it as a business expense for taxes. I took the L, started from scratch, but more importantly, changed my strategy. The reality is, I wasn't stealing like an artist. I was stealing. If someone had a chance to choose watching my channel or Elon Musk's own, my channel or Voyager, my channel would lose every single time. I used the same titles and changed it up a bit. I used the same scripts and changed it up a bit. I used the same thumbnails and changed them up a bit. Now, there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration and changing things up a bit, but the video produced must be better than the original. And my videos weren't better. They were mediocre at best and never had a chance to compete with the originals. I realized there are 2 ways to go about YouTube. 1, do what everybody else is doing, or 2, be a little bit different. And I've been different my whole life. My first niches were Elon Musk, tech, space, personal development, and app tutorials, all of which I had little to no interest in. So I looked at my favorite Faceless creators, and I realized it's exactly what I want to do. Sunny V2 does rise and fall videos of YouTubers. Patrick CC does rise and fall videos of rappers. Internet Anarchist does conspiracy fall videos of YouTubers. Either way, I like what they're doing. I researched to see if there are new creators doing well in similar niches, and I found that a lot of channels have a one-off viral video, but then they completely stop posting. So I realized that video essays were the way to go, and all I had to do was create good content and be consistent. But I need to find my unique twist, my unique viewing proposition, because there are so many commentary channels out there. So I found my blue ocean strategy, and if you're still figuring out your niche, I suggest reading this, and I'd appreciate it if you use my affiliate link down below. Unlike last time, I decided to do everything myself. I wanted to learn how to write and edit, so this time whenever I look for freelancers, I already know what I'm looking for. My best subjects at school were math and science, so when it came down to writing, I sucked. At least, that's what I told myself. But I didn't want to let that stop me, so I did what I do best. I studied Sunny V2's videos, wrote down his scripts so I can learn how he does it. But the reality is, that's how he does it, and I can never do it like he does it. Otherwise, I'd just be a clone, and I'd start the cycle again. When I was in car sales, my manager said nobody's gonna sell like you do. Everybody has their own unique selling style. I wasn't pushy or loud because that wouldn't work for me. I was soft-spoken and I listened. That's how I sold. And nobody sold how I sold. So I had to figure out how to write scripts, how to keep the viewer watching, but more importantly, how to tell a story. John Kors recommended me the book Save the Cat to get better at script writing, and I'm grateful because this helped me find my voice. If you ask me to write a script about how AI will take over the world, I'll do it, but I won't know where to start. And this is exactly how I felt when writing my first script. After I chose the person I was going to write about, I had to do research, which involved watching podcast interviews of the person. I did this several times, took notes of timestamps, and basically outlined the entire interview. I also watched a bunch of the person's videos so I can learn more and take notes so I can reference later. Although this was very time consuming, I found it pretty peaceful, especially because every time I did a new person, I learned something new. But the minute it came to actual writing, I was overwhelmed. I had too much information, I didn't know where to start, and this is exactly why it took me 3 weeks to finish my first script. But it was worth it. I never liked my voice, but I knew I had to get over it and just try so I can get my voiceovers done. I use Audacity to record and Final Cut Pro to edit my audio. I'm very slow at video editing. I made a lot of mistakes and it took me 2 days, but I finally finished that first video. I uploaded it, it went live, and within 24 hours, it had 0 views. Within 48 hours, it had 3 views. And by the end of the 30th day, it hit over 10,000 views. During those 30 days, my click-through rate was around 3%. And this was also the time when I was watching Wanner's interview. During it, he emphasized the importance of small changes, the importance of thumbnails, and how it can make a big difference. And that I should spend money on a good thumbnail designer because it's going to be worth it. And he was right. I got a thumbnail designer, and within a few days, my click-through rate jumped to 7.7%. I finished my second script and video in 1 day, and I realized I rushed it. That was my first mistake. Even though I had another video up on the channel, it wasn't really worth it because all it did was just add another video to the channel. For my third video, I took my time researching and writing the script, but then a trend was happening and I ditched that old script to go ahead and write another one, finished it within a few days, and that was my second mistake. I got hyped about a trend and I wanted to put something out, even though it's already been a few weeks of that trend. I should have been more patient and done a better job. While working on my scripts, I was still testing out different freelancers for writing, and that was my third mistake. A scriptwriter is a backbone of a channel, and I wasn't prepared to hire somebody for the channel because no one would do the work that I would do. No one would sit through hours of podcasts to find information and take notes. No one would scroll through 500 videos, jot down how long each video is just to find a trend. So even though I started this channel on November 30th, I didn't post my first video until the 29th of December, literally a month afterwards. And on the second day, I got my first subscriber. And that's my little brother. So if you're watching this, thanks bro. In the whole month of December, which would literally be 3 days, I posted 2 videos, and those 2 videos got me 10 views, 0.7 watch hours, and 1 subscriber, being my brother. For that first video, you can see it got 15,315 views since I published it. Got me 144 subscribers and $6.23. Now, as far as APV goes, it's stuck at 35.8%, which isn't bad, but it does get better later on. One thing I'm impressed with is going to be the retention for 30 seconds, which is roughly around 65%. So I got monetized on the 4th of February and I turned on ads around 6 a.m. So I'm going to go ahead and count this from the 5th of February so you can see the full analytics of it. It got me 2,000 views and made $6.07. We can see that the RPM is going to be $2.97, which is not bad. That's actually pretty good. The CPM is $8.16. And the click-through rate average during the 5th of February to the 20th of February is going to be 6.3%. One thing I want to note is right here, you can see right when I made the thumbnail change. And it's really cool and crazy to see because right there, it was stuck at roughly, like 3% or so. And then after a few days, boom, it hit 7.7%. Of course, it's going to dip down again, but so far it's maintained steady. Now the second video I posted on the 30th of December, and that one took me 1 day to do everything from the research, script, and voiceover, and editing. I did that all myself. I regret doing that one because in the end it was just a random video and it didn't really do anything to the channel except add 1 more video. Up until now, it's gotten me 768 views, 12 subscribers, and in total it's made 48 cents. Now looking at the AVD, it's at 1:57, and the APV is impressively at 58.8%. And the reason being is because this video is 3 minutes and 19 seconds long. It was a test, and it was a test that I don't want to do again. I realized I don't want to make very short videos there just because I don't think it's worth it, at least on this type of channel, and also because of AdSense. And once you get above the 8-minute mark, you can go ahead and put the mid-roll ads and put more ads in them. And so looking at the retention, this one was really good because 74% for the 30-second retention, which I thought was very good. Now, if we look at from the 5th of February to the 28th, the times I was actually monetized, it's made 35 cents. And looking further into the revenue, we could see that the RPM for this video is $1.04. and the CPM is $4.10. And because this video didn't get that much views in comparison, the CTR is all over the place. Like it's roughly stuck at like 3.7%. But then you see these huge spikes like up here on the 19th of January, 11.1%, and then 8.7%, and then because nobody watched it on the 21st, it hit 0%. But it all averages out in the end, and it's stuck at 3.7%. For those two videos in December, since I did everything, the only cost for me would be the thumbnails, which ended up being $8 on Upwork, plus the fees, I paid $8.40, which means in December I spent a total of $16.80. January was a really good month, more so towards the end, as you could see over here. That's when my last video that I posted started blowing up. And I ended up posting 4 videos this month. So looking at the first video right here, this one was based off a trend. I also regret doing this one because in the end, I could have done a much better job. And also it was one of the shorter videos that didn't end up working out. Basically 5.5 minutes. So up until now, this got me 753 views. It's made 40 cents. I got 9 subscribers. My AVD is 2 minutes and 32 seconds, and my APV is 46.4, which again, it's pretty good, but that's probably because it's a shorter video. 30-second retention goes, it's at 69%. But this video is basically dead, as you could see over here. It's only getting 6 views in the last 48 hours, so it is what it is. Now, if we look at the times I was monetized in February, it's made 38 cents. The RPM is $1.23, and the RPM is $3.89. And the CTR for this one was also all over the place. Because I already had subscribers, I'm guessing that's why during the first day, it jumped up to 8.3%. But then when YouTube went ahead and pushed it out to different people, they realized, hey, maybe this wasn't a good video. And so it dipped a lot, in total averaging the 3% for these past 54 days. And this was the first video that had my editor do it, and so I paid $20 for this, plus Wise fees, and then also Upwork $8.40 for the thumbnail. For my 4th video, it's gotten 1,248 views and made $1.43 so far. And looking at the AVD, it's at 3 minutes and 41 seconds and 35.3%, which for a 10.5 minute video, that's not too bad. The retention is at 67%, which is pretty good. It's only getting 8 views in the last 48 hours, so it's kind of dead. From the 5th to the 28th of February, it got 448 views. It's made $1.39, and the RPM is $3.09, which that's pretty good. $7.32 CPM. And the CTR for this one wasn't too good. It's averaging 2.4, but most recently it's spiked up to 5.7%, but then back down to 1.2, and then up to 5.1, but then back to 2.2. I paid $30 for this video, plus $8.40 for the thumbnail. Now my 5th video, this one got pretty good results. It's got 19,518 views to this day. It's netted me $36, got me 324 subscribers, which I think that's pretty good. In the past 48 hours, it's at 104 views, which isn't too bad. Now looking at the AVD, it's at 5 minutes and 17 seconds. The APV is 42.6. This is really good. I'm really proud of this video. This is also a longer video at nearly 12.5 minutes. And then looking at the retention, we can see it's at 72%, which again, I'm very proud of. Now looking from the 5th to the 28th of February, it netted me $35.48. And the RPM is pretty impressive at $4.80. with a CPM of $10.25. But surprisingly, the average CTR is kind of low at 2.8%. And then right here, you could see it's got its dip, but afterwards it's starting actually getting better and better. 6.8 dips again. And then it had its peak at 8.7%. And then all of a sudden, after the 27th day, it just dipped hard at 2.9%. And now it's staying at like roughly, I want to say roughly 4. So this is my 6th video, and this is the one that went absolutely crazy, and MrBeast ended up commenting on this one, which I'm really proud of. That was my dream. I want these YouTubers that I talk about to end up commenting on it, and it happened. So this one to this day has made me $571.16. It's got 610,315 views and has netted me over 2,900 subscribers. Now as far as the AVD, it's at 2 minutes 31 seconds. The APV is at 32.8%. and the retention is 66%. And I made a mistake on this video because I didn't make it at least 8 minutes long, so I couldn't put the mid-roll ads. Otherwise, this would have been probably double, or at least 50% higher, but it is what it is. So now I'm making sure all my videos are at least at the 8-minute mark, but preferably longer. And this is the most impressive part that I see, because right over here on the 29th of January, it gets me 4,600 views. The day after, 22,000. The day after, 91,000. And then when I was looking at my phone just to scroll, it was like 140,000 or so views in the past 48 hours. And I thought that was insane. Every time I kept refreshing, it just kept going higher and higher. And so, I mean, I knew it would go down eventually, but it was a nice dopamine during the time it happened. And so from February 5th to February 28th, it's netted me $558.47. And as you can see from the graph, it's really gotten low because this video was getting me roughly in the 30,000 views. And then middle of February, it just dipped really low to the point where it's at like the 2,000 mark, but it seems to be stabilizing there. This is meant to happen. It's a Barros channel. Things go up, things go down. Just a matter of staying consistent and keep posting good content. So that's really what keeps me going and motivated, because if I can keep this going on and keep getting these huge spikes, it's going to be really good. And then later on, once I have a bigger backlog of videos, my videos and my views are going to go ahead and stabilize at a certain point. Just like on this channel, they stabilized at a certain point too. Now this is where it gets interesting. The RPM for this one is $1.43, and the CPM is $4.66. So drastically less than basically almost all my other videos. Now the click-through rate I thought was pretty interesting, because right here you can see it got 7%, and then during that wave and rush of views, it just dipped hard at 4%. And then afterwards it stabilized again at 9.4, and then it kept staying there for a few days, but eventually, you know, they say what goes up must come down, and then it just hammered all the way down. But luckily, it seems to be stabilizing at roughly like a 5.4% low, 5.8, so probably 5.5% is safe. And then right here from the average, since published, it's at 6.8%. And on February, this is 7.4%. And so for this video, I made my own thumbnail, which I'm very proud of. And then I had this thumbnail made for months. I was making through different iterations of it because this was the first video idea that I had. But because I had no idea how to write the script, I ended up postponing this idea until my 6th video, which honestly was worth it because I got a better chance to understand how to write a script better. And then I got a chance to actually make this. And then right over here, you can see Mr. Beast, I will win. So if you've seen this channel, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, this channel's pretty easy to find. So in February, I ended up making only 3 videos instead of 4, and that's my fault. I ended up procrastinating too much, and it took me 2 weeks to go ahead and finish my last script, which my video editor is working on right now. So the 7th video got me a little over 53,000 views, 184.45 cents of revenue, 590 subscribers, and to this day, it's getting 161 views in the past 48 hours. It's got an AVD of 5 minutes and 56 seconds. That was crazy. This is the highest I've ever gotten before, and the APV is nuts at 50.6%. And 70% of the viewers are still watching at the 30-second mark. Now, the revenue from February 5th to February 28th is $181.23, and the RPM is $3.47, with a CPM of $8.69, which I think that's pretty good. I was also impressed with the click-through rate. On the first day, it's got an 8.9. It dipped. It has a high of 13.2% a week afterwards, but then it started slowly declining, but it looks like it's slowly increasing again, and it's averaged out to 8.4%. So with this video, my video editor did a very bad job editing it. Communication was bad, and I was at fault too because I didn't express early enough of what should be done, but he also didn't communicate early enough to me, so we're both at fault. But regardless of this one, I ended up just doing that more editing myself and do revisions myself because I wanted to put this video out on that Saturday, which I ended up doing thankfully, but it ended up taking me like 6 hours just to go ahead and do the edit. Normally this video would be $30. He was saying to give him 20. I ended up giving him 25 for this video. And then for my thumbnail designer, paid her $8.40. Now my 8th video was more of a test. I ended up collaborating with somebody I've been talking to for a few months. He ended up writing the script, but I didn't really like the way it was written, and so I basically just rewrote a bunch of the script, added more things to it, and made it more unique to my own. It got me 1,400 views, made $2.48, and got 25 subscribers. And for the past 48 hours, it's getting 11 views. So this one's, yeah, it's pretty much dead. Now looking at the RPM, it's $1.78 with a CPM of $5.65. And usually the click-through rate on videos when you first put out are going to be really good because the viewers, the audience are going to want to go ahead and see it. This one, not so much, 4.4% the first day, which is when I knew it probably wouldn't perform as well, which ended up being true because it ended up dipping a lot during these next days. So much so that yesterday it had a 1.1% click-through rate. And on average, it's at 3.6%. So this video was $25 and the thumbnail was $8.40. So this is the last video I posted in February. It got me 8,863 views, made $22.22 up to this day, 188 subscribers, and it's still getting views. Not as much than the 3 digits, but 82, that's something. And the cool thing that you can see is right over here, this wasn't done by the algorithm. Somebody ended up sharing this video and this is what happened afterwards. And so it's really cool seeing like their audience come over here. The reason I made this last video was because to go ahead and bring their audience to me, and hopefully you want to watch my videos as well too. Now, as far as revenue goes, the RPM got $2.53, and the CPM is at $5.90. Now, my thumbnail designer was late for this thumbnail, so I ended up doing it myself. It was very flat and bad. And so the day after, once I finally got a hold of her, she ended up basically just making it a lot better, giving it more of like a 3D look. You can see that kind of bumped it up from 6.1% to 9.2%, all the way up to 10.4. Slowly simmered down over the past few days, and now it's averaging 8.4%. I wasn't too impressed with the AVD and APV because it was stuck at 3 minutes and 42 cents at 33.3%. 69% of the viewers were still watching at the 30-second mark. And one complaint I did get during this one was the music, or it might have been the other one. But yeah, the hardest thing is to choose the right songs, which is why I end up choosing the songs, not my video editor. So whenever he sends me back the video, he does whatever revisions I ask, and then I just do any micro revisions, which might be a little thing here and there usually, but mainly it's the background music that I end up putting. The intro was really bad, how he did it, because he was trying to do something fancy and, make a crop, but it just didn't turn out good. So I basically ended up scrapping that part, like the first 6 or 7 seconds, and then just did something on my own there. So during the month of February, this Faceless channel got me 481,609 views, which is basically double what this channel gets. It's crazy. It's netted me $825.42, and profit margin is this right over here. And I also want to mention that with all these channels, my channel, this one that you're watching right now including, there's always going to be ups and downs. Like this week was just amazing because I've never made this much, not even on this channel. Here, the most I've made on the Faceless, $66.09 one day, $60.54, and then afterwards it just kind of started dipping. And that could be too because I didn't post the video, because right over here, the Saturday the 25th, this is when I should have posted another video, and this is probably when I would have gotten an upsurge and a spike of views as well too, from not only current subscribers but also new subscribers. And those new subscribers will probably watch my old videos, which is where it would go up again. I realized the sweet spot for this channel is probably posting once a week, which is definitely as much as I can handle, because writing these scripts take me a long time. Writing scripts for this channel are a lot easier just because since I live the experience, or I do the experience, I can do it much quicker. Versus when I'm doing this Faceless one here, I have to go ahead and watch these interviews, watch these videos, watch these podcasts, do the research, think creatively, and it just gets a little bit draining and tiring, but I know I'm gonna get better. So hopefully you learned something from this video, and if you didn't, at least take away this one thing: quality over quantity. Daily uploads were the thing, but people would go ahead and get burnt out. Casey Neistat got burnt out. And so it's just not sustainable, it's especially at one person. And if you're first starting off and you're trying to go ahead and do the quantity game, it's going to be tough because you're not going to know what a good video it is, what a good script is, what a good thumbnail title, nothing is. So take it slow, take it one thing at a time, learn from it, and focus on improving every single time. Because that's what I'm doing with this channel. I'm taking it slow too and posting about twice a month. I tested it that last month and it ended up doing phenomenally. My 2 videos during the month got me roughly 53,000 views. And then January, when I posted 5 videos, it got me roughly 13,000 views. The idea was much better before. It also takes longer to do these ideas. Like for this video right here, I think it will perform well. Reason being is because this video was scripted. It has information that I think you'll find useful. And it took time to do this. Like this is literally like 2 months in the making. And so this is 2 months worth of experience in one whole video. So that's all I really had to say. And make sure you click this other video over here. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave it in the comments below and subscribe. Yeah. Yeah. Also, was this sun that annoying?